Okay, thank you for downloading EconApps 2. I'm going to show you how to navigate the Instructor's control panel, which I have displayed on the iPad because it's just easier to record that way, but you can do the same features and the same operations with the iPhone. I have a buyer and seller on the right connected to the server waiting for the first round to start. Okay, and so first I'm going to show you kind of some of the features that are available before a round starts. So you'll notice here that you have 4 buttons: the start button, the pause button that's inactive, email, survey. You can click on the round information and you can see how many participants you have, how many are disconnected. If you want to enter a survey, you can do so, but since we're not connected to the internet, it's not going to do anything. And you could try to email, but it's probably going to tell you, okay, it's actually going to generate some data here that you can send to yourself, but you obviously want to make sure you have some trades going on before you send that data. So you can delete the draft. And so you can check your settings here by clicking this tab here, and you have all of your tabs that can be shown and hidden. The reason we did this is to make it easier to not have too much stuff on the iPad, on the iPhone version. Alright, so that'll take you to the control center. The next tab will take you to game settings. In the game settings, there's actually 3 different views to show here. So you can turn on monopoly mode, oligopoly mode, set up an unprofitable trade warning. You can do just one widget at a time or multiple widgets at a time by turning this off. Change the time limit, whether or not you want to show a ticker for trades. Change the number of widgets. You can change the token endowment. You can change the proportion of buyers and sellers. Reset their values. And you can also play with the widget values. And so we actually have a scroll bar here, so suppose we want to make the last widget worth a little bit less. So we just click that down here, and we can do that, or we can actually increase them all by 1 if we want to. So they'll all go up by 1. And then we can also switch over if we want to do this for the seller. Okay. So suppose we want to bring the seller's cost down by 1, 2, 3, and it does it for all the widgets here. Or you can individually change a single widget. Okay, so that's the basic game settings. Here's our price control tab, and in this case you can set up a voting round, or you can just simply set a price control and say you're done. Oops. And we can set that as a price ceiling. We can enforce the price control that way. We're going to turn that feature off, and you can just leave that there. Here's where you view the buyers and sellers votes if you do decide to do a voting round, which you would just turn on with this switch here. And you'll notice that when you go back to the control center, is that the next round, since we already started one, will go through there. There's our users information. Here we can actually change their individual widget values. So if you wanted to make a different buyer have a different set of widget values, you could do so here. If you want to do some really advanced stuff there, you can change their role from buyer to seller just by tapping this button. And here's where you would view round information. Okay, and so you select the round that you want to view. And right now we're in round 1. And you would just rotate landscape to see that view. Okay. And go back to view it that way. Last is the scatter plot view, and you can choose to show the demand or hide the demand and supply. Okay, but you rotate the device to view the chart. And so here you can preview your demand and supply graph, and then if you want to display this for your students, you can hide the supply and demand such that all you'll see is the scatter plot and whatever trades are occurring here. Okay. Alright, so just put it back in portrait mode to hide that, and then access the options again. You can go to the control center. I'll show you what goes on when you start a round. And you can end voting, and then you could stop the round.